for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for.
Dear white baby Jesus, please let the assailant be one of the dark ones. We know that you would not tarnish our beautiful skin tone's legacy by making this assailant one of us, obviously. You know, you blessed me and my 97 Mormon children with all the blessings ever in our, 87,000 acres of fucking nothing. But I just do wish that it is one of the dark ones, or if he is from the great state of Utah, he illegally infiltrated this state through means of illegal immigration to this country, because if he is white, which he is not, I think I may implode on that stage, and I know you would never smite me, my Lord. I've done nothing but serve you in the Mormon Church, the one true God in heaven of John Smith, the most, yes. Thank you, Lord, for continuing to bless me and making me the great whatever the fuck.
That Utah governor talked about the shooter not being an immigrant, like that blew his parlay. Like he just had the mortgage bet on the Browns. Like, why was he so
To the Utah governor, why do you need it to be someone else? I mean, we know why, but I just want to hear it from you. I hope a reporter follows up on that you were hoping that was a foreigner or someone that wasn't a part of your community and it wasn't one of you guys. I'm very curious at how we're going to approach that line of questioning. Now, you did mention a death penalty. My question is, are you still about the life?
White supremacy in America doesn't always wear a hood or wave a flag. Now, sometimes it slips quietly into the speeches of our leaders, wrapped in coded language and whispered assumptions. And when Utah's governor responded to the shocking death of Charlie Kirk by saying, "I just hope the killer wasn't one of us," the world had more than grief. It had a reflection of America's deepest wound. And today we are peeling back the layers of that statement, specifically asking who exactly counts as us and why this moment exposes the subtle unspoken ways white supremacy continues to shape the nation's soul.
They are finally saying the quiet part out loud. So we have now reached a point with shootings where people are just outright saying, I wish it was someone from out of state or an immigrant, because that would be easier to push my agenda. And not only that, that is a governor saying this. This is a person holding office saying some shit like this out loud. I truly don't know if we're heading for dystopian times or not, but I do know being politically correct is over. Everyone is kind of fed up. They're saying the quiet part out loud. People aren't giving sympathy on either side, and things are clearly about to get worse.
Governor Spencer Cox of Utah just had a speech where he said he has been praying for 33 hours straight that when they caught the person who did this to Charlie Kirk, that he wouldn't be one of us. Wouldn't be from his state, wouldn't be from this country. But he says he was wrong and all of his praying did not work. Shocking. Now, let me translate for some of you what he's really saying. He wishes it was somebody more brown and not so white and not from our country, and maybe an illegal immigrant, or maybe somebody trans so we could pin it on them. But no. This is a direct reflection in the mirror. We don't know anything about Taylor Robinson yet. All that he's 22. We've seen a picture of him and his dad. His dad helped him to turn him in. Of course, he came in safely. Only that is only allowed for mass pun. Somehow they never,
I love how the governor of Utah had been praying that it wasn't one of us. Like it wasn't a white Christian kid from Utah. What are the odds? What would be the odds that it wasn't a white guy from Utah? Not me, fortunately. But is anybody surprised? But Governor Cox, who is not one of us? Were you hoping it was an immigrant? Probably. That would have made all of you Mormons feel better if it was a brown immigrant. It's like, told you. Fucking told you. Or if it was a Democrat. You guys would have loved it if it was a Democrat. You guys were already blaming it on the radical left. Fuck, that sucks. It wasn't one of us, huh? Who else could it have been, Governor Cox? Like a trans kid? You're hoping it was a trans kid, probably, or a gay person? I don't know. Definitely not a white Christian kid. Fuck, no. Can't be one of those. Anyway, sorry your prayers weren't answered. Again, Should have done a statewide fast and prayer circle, though, for that. Maybe then Jesus would have heard your supplications and not have allowed it to be a white Mormon kid from southern Utah. God damn, Jesus. Wishing you could have gotten ahead of that one.
So the governor's comment may have sounded harmless to some, even instinctive, but carries weight, especially when they come from the highest office in state. And by framing the killer's identity as a question of us versus them, he inadvertently revealed the quiet boundary lines that still divide America. Now, people are asking, who is us? Who is them? And why, in moments of tragedy, do leaders so often distance whiteness from violence while swiftly attaching blackness or otherness to it? And so this statement is more than a slip of the tongue. It reflects a centuries-old reflex of American politics, where violence committed by white hands is often explained away or treated as an aberration, while violence from others is branded as proof of cultural or racial pathology. Now, white supremacy thrives not only in overt acts or of hate, but in these subtle reflexes, right? Where whiteness is assumed to be innocent, where belonging is a default, and where culpability is projected outward. And the governor may not have intended to spark controversy, but his words echo a much larger pattern. Now, when mass shootings or political assassinations are committed by white men, the media rushes to label them as lone wolves or troubled individuals, stripping their acts of ideological weight. And yet, when perpetrators are black, Latino, or even Muslim, their entire communities become suspect and the narrative shifts to collective blame. Now, this is the quiet grammar of white supremacy. It doesn't scream, it whispers. And it doesn't always exclude with violence, it excludes with assumption. And when leaders normalize this reflex, they reinforce a dangerous double standard that affects how justice is served, how media tells the story, and how communities are policed. Now, the irony is quite sharp here. Now, Charlie Kirk himself was a voice that often amplified these divisions, casting suspicion outward and framing whiteness as synonymous with patriotism. And now, in the aftermath of his death, the very language used by a governor to process the tragedy lays bare how deeply those divisions run. Now, white supremacy isn't just a fringe ideology. It is embedded in the nation's responses, in its fears, and in its instincts to preserve whiteness from association with violence at all costs. And now America cannot heal until it confronts not only the loud violence of hate groups, but also the quiet comfort of privilege that protects whiteness even in moments of undeniable brutality. And so when we hear a leader say, I hope the killer wasn't one of us, we have to ask, who gets to belong in that us? Who gets to be innocent until proven guilty, and who is forever cast as a suspect? And as outsider, as other, the tragedy should be a wake-up call, not just about political violence, but about the deeper invisible scaffolding of white supremacy that holds America together, even as it tears the nation apart.